What ignites a nation to stand up against its own government? In the heart of Georgia, a proposed bill echoes the contentious laws of Russia, sparking widespread unrest. The legislation, backed by the Georgian Dream Party, mandates organizations with over 20% foreign funding to register as foreign agents. This move, the government argues, is crucial for ensuring transparency and safeguarding national sovereignty from external influences. On the flip side, opposition groups, civil society, and notably President Salome Zurabishvili stand firm against it, fearing erosion of democratic freedoms and a drift towards authoritarianism. As tension mounts, the stage is set for a confrontation that would draw the eyes of the world. 50,000 voices, one unified cry for freedom. In the heart of Tbilisi, a sea of people from all walks of life has gathered. Artists stand shoulder to shoulder with academics, their faces etched with determination. Amid the chants and banners, there's a palpable sense of urgency, a collective stand against the proposed foreign agent bill that threatens to reshape their society. One activist, her voice firm over the crowd, shares, "This isn't just about a law, it's about our right to speak, to disagree, to exist freely without fear of being labeled enemies of the state." Another, a seasoned journalist, adds, "If this bill passes, the press could become an instrument of the government, silencing dissent and washing away the pillars of democracy we fought so hard to build." The world watches and weighs in. From the cobblestones of Europe to the halls of Washington, global leaders express their dismay. The European Union, the United States, and the United Kingdom have all voiced concerns, fearing this move could sever Georgia's ties with the West, derailing its aspirations for European Union membership. The streets of Tbilisi have spoken, but the struggle is far from over. When peaceful protests meet force, the world watches closely. In the heart of Georgia, the air crackled with tension as law enforcement clashed with 50,000 demonstrators rallying against the controversial foreign agent bill. As the crowd voiced their dissent, the response was swift and severe. Tear gas clouded the vistas of Tbilisi, rubber bullets flew, and the sounds of protest were met with the harsh reality of physical restraint. The global response was immediate and sharp. From the corridors of the European Union to the halls of the United Nations, leaders expressed grave concerns about the use of force against peaceful protesters. Human rights organizations worldwide condemned the actions, highlighting the critical importance of safeguarding the right to peaceful assembly. These events not only cast a shadow over Georgia's democratic credentials, but also strained its international relationships, potentially impacting economic ties and diplomatic negotiations. Inside Georgia, the repercussions were palpable. The images of unrest and the sounds of discord sent ripples through communities, businesses, and the very fabric of society. As the dust settled, it was clear that the implications of these clashes reached far beyond the immediate physical confrontations. The battle lines are drawn, not just in the streets, but on the international stage. Why does this matter beyond Georgia's borders? The situation unfolding in Georgia is not an isolated incident. Around the world, we're witnessing a wave of legislation that mirrors the Kremlin-style foreign agents laws. These laws, ostensibly designed to ensure transparency, often serve as tools for governments to exert control over non-governmental organizations and stifle dissent. The global implications are profound as these measures challenge the very essence of democratic freedom and civil liberties. In Georgia, the proposed foreign agent bill is a litmus test for the country's democratic trajectory and its aspirations to join Western institutions like the European Union and NATO. The international community watches closely, as the outcome could influence how emerging democracies around the globe balance national security concerns with democratic principles. The tension between transparency and control is a significant theme in modern governance. While proponents argue these laws safeguard national interests, critics see them as vehicles for authoritarianism, potentially pushing Georgia away from its Euro-Atlantic goals. Georgia's crossroads decision could set a precedent for democracies around the world. As the dust settles, what remains of Georgia's democratic aspirations? The scenes we've witnessed unfold in Georgia are more than just a series of protests. They are a vivid illustration of a society grappling with its own principles of freedom and transparency. The proposed foreign agents law has ignited a fierce debate over the nature of foreign influence and the integrity of democratic institutions. At the heart of this controversy lies a deep-seated fear that adopting such a law could steer Georgia closer to authoritarian practices, reminiscent of those seen in nations with less regard for democratic norms. Critics argue that this bill, by potentially stifling free speech and curtailing civil liberties, could undermine Georgia's aspirations to join the European Union and NATO, institutions that pride themselves on democratic values and human rights. The response from the international community has been one of concern and caution. Prominent voices from the United States, the European Union, and the United Kingdom have expressed apprehension, suggesting that the passage of this bill could distance Georgia from the Western alliances it seeks to join. This international dialogue underscores the global importance of maintaining democratic standards, not just within national borders but across geopolitical alliances. Looking ahead, the future of this bill could go several ways. If passed, it may indeed secure certain governmental controls over foreign influence, but at the cost of public trust and international relationships. If rejected, it could reinforce Georgia's commitment to democratic ideals, potentially bolstering its ties with the West and stabilizing its political landscape. In moments like these, the power of collective action becomes unmistakably clear. The protests we've seen, involving tens of thousands of citizens, demonstrate that the will of the people continues to be a formidable force in shaping political outcomes. It's a reminder that even in the face of daunting challenges, proactive engagement can lead to significant change. In the face of adversity, the spirit of democracy often shines brightest. The people of Georgia have made their stand. Now the world must decide how to respond.